Hey, this is gonna be the second Last of Us 2 video that I did. If you've seen the first one, just know that was pretty much a few hours after we finished the game for the first time. And, we pretty much did it in one sit down, me and my mate. We bought the game and it was like 25, 26 hours at his shop, awake, alcohol, Coca-Cola for caffeine and shit, and we didn't want to sit down. So if you can, all the anger and shit that came spewing out in that last video, that was a combination of just being burnt out over those like 25, 26 hours. Um, Instant reaction, instant feeling from all the shit that bloody hit us. So a lot of anger poured out of that. We were just like so sick of this shit. But this video is going to address two things. One, I want to give a thanks and shout out to Akasan, from who's the Red Dreaded Nation in Japan. Um, Been following his streams of him streaming the game. He's done anywhere between like 4, 5 to 8 hours in a solid stream, and it honestly came across much better watching him stream it than it was for us playing it in like one giant sit down, because I feel like with the time that we had off in between the streams, us individually watching him play and hearing his opinion as well, being able to debate our points of view in the chat, we were given much more time, like pretty much 5 to 6 days. We were pretty much given around that time to process and listen to others' opinions, gain insight, and a few times in the chat, I would like to apologize to Akasan. It came across a few of us got into full blown arguments, but if I can give one shout out to one other person in the chat, it's Kate, because it felt like when me and her were discussing our points, it came more across like we were debating it, and I understand her point of view. It's just from my point of view, I wanted things changed or edited in certain ways so that they make more sense. But we never outright turned around and like insulted each other. It's just like, yeah, we understand our points of view and moved on. So yeah, I actually enjoyed watching Akasan stream this game a lot more than I did when me and my mate G played the game, because it pretty much drove us nuts. Like if you can imagine playing Abby for like 10 hours solid, and even us, like he does 5 hours, I do 5 hours, we're switching the controller back and forth. That, by the way, that controller's broken. That's gone. That went flying across the room at towards the end of the gameplay. That controller just went flying. Yeah, we were that pissed by the end. We were just tired. We needed sleep, and that controller went flying. But what has ended up happening over uh the experience with Akasan's stream, and then I was on Amino um with my mates there, and we're memeing and trolling the shit out of it, but we're also discussing how we would do stuff differently. And two things have actually popped up from The Last of Us 2. The first one with Arcus on the stream is everyone got on the topic of, you know, where does The Last of Us 3 go? And I'll just bring up the Amino for a sec. One person made the joke, it's like, Last of Us 3 is going to be Abby and Lev. They're the two characters you can play as. Oh shit, if they go down that route, they've lost half of their fan base. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The fan base is so split at the moment. If they do that, the people that hated 2 are not going to play those two characters in 3 no matter what. People that enjoy 2, of course, are going to play. They won't mind that, but yeah, the people that are already burnt out over Abby are not going to bloody give another 10, 15 hours into her. But with Akasan, I think the idea that everyone agreed on, the chat was behind it, and that we want a prequel where we see Joel and Tommy as you play as. We learn, solidify that they are arseholes, but they're like necessary arseholes. It's the apocalypse. You want to survive. You do bad shit. Um, we came up with the idea for like you can have Tommy and Joel traveling together, and like you obviously switch between them, but also give them a dog where you can give like hand signs or like whistle whatever, and the dog does different things like run after the opponent or bloody like try to jump up somewhere and shit. Give it an I Am Legend type of vibe to it, and I think a lot of people will get behind that. One, because you love dogs. Two, um, we love Joel no matter what. Tommy is a whole different story, which I'm about to get into when me and the Amino were talking about how to fix The Last of Us 2 from our perspective and how to get all the fans on board with the game. And this was an idea I came up with, and I shared it with the Amino, and they all got on board with it. Because there's one thing in The Last of Us 2 for this story-based game it's supposed to be really diverse. The game is trying to make you feel hatred or forgiveness or this or that, but the game does one thing wrong. It forces the player to accept whatever it tells you. And one thing in the gaming industry that's really popular right now, and lots of games have done it, is the ability to choose. Choice affects gameplay. And I feel in The Last of Us 2, choice, especially with certain scenes, would be key point. And the way we figured to fix The Last of Us 2, there's only two choices that you can bring in towards the late game that would fix the goddamn game by allowing the player to kind of get the ending they want, but then also see the consequences of that set ending. So, one, I'm actually on board with Joel dying early on, as long as this choice system gets inputted into the game at the end, concerning the two ones that I came up with. One, the first choice, the big one, is on the farm towards the end of the game, because I think for a lot of people, they thought the game was ending here. They legitimately, it felt like the end of the game. It's like, oh, you got here, you're on the farm, you're with your girlfriend, you got the kid, you may have PTSD, but you're living freely, you've moved on. It feels good. It feels like a goddamn ending. It's really slice of life. It's like you've been through so much shit, but you've made peace and you're living there. That's why when it also goes on to force you to keep playing, I think it was shortly after this. I think it was about 10 minutes when we were playing the game that controller went flying. We're like, fuck, it's still going. This would be the first choice we install into the game, is that Tommy shows up, and this is the point where I actually I was pissed off with Tommy. I'm like, just leave us alone. Just fuck off. Fuck your vengeance. Fuck off. Piss off. Let us just be happy. That was my attitude towards the game. I actually started hating Tommy by the end of the fucking game. Give the player the choice to seek vengeance against Abby by siding with Tommy, or staying on the farm, living with Dina and the child, and being happy. This can go two ways. You go with Tommy, and we'll get into that, to the further content with the revenge. You stay on the farm, the game ends. It's the earliest ending possible. You leave the happy life, consequences of your action. Tommy goes after Abby. Tommy dies. Not even by Abby's hands, because we know what's in California with the rattlers and all that shit. And he's injured. He's got it like limp and everything. He just dies, seeking vengeance. Simple. You choose to be happy with your family. You get the satisfaction of that ending, and you see the consequences of that choice. Now, if you choose vengeance, and I think we mentioned this in Akasan's chat, but you go after Abby, you get to the final battle with Abby, and during the whole struggle slash boom boom boom, it pauses, and you get the choice to kill Abby or let her live. Completely your choice. The player, the people that hate Abby, get to kill her. The people that have grown to respect her through all the bullshit that happens in the game, they can let her live. Comes down to the individual person's choice. And if you kill Abby, well, to stop the cycle of vengeance, because there's a chance. Well, I personally don't believe that Lev could survive. Like, that idiot's laying in the boat already half dead. Kill Lev as well, and consequences of the action. This was something we were all on board with. Is Ellie returns to the farm, and Dina and the kid have left. They're like, you chose vengeance over us. They leave, and Ellie's left all alone on the farm. I think if people chose that, it's like, hey, you're happy you got revenge, but you chose vengeance over family. You deserve what you get. You let Abby live. I really don't know what to do with that type of ending. Like, I've been thinking on this for a day before I make this video, and I don't even know the consequences of letting Abby live. I mean, you let her go, she gets on the boat, she takes off with Lev, but it's like, you go home, your consequence for going to get revenge is that Dina's already left, so what have you got to gain by letting Abby live? Like, what's kind of like the positive karma outcome for letting her live? I don't know what to do with that. The whole point of this video and is that while I personally, like, I can appreciate the aspect of the game in terms of the game, I reckon it ticks all the boxes in terms of gameplay, sound, and graphics. So it instantly deserves its 5 out of 10. In terms of the story, I don't know, I'd boost it up to maybe a 6.5 or a 7. Because it does good things in the story. You can't turn around and say the game's shit. It's just like there are decisions in the game that personally affect me in a negative way. So I'd give the game overall like a 6.5, 7. And a lot of that just goes into the effort that went into creating this game. Sound, graphic, all that type of stuff. Especially the melee combat and customization, all that. But yeah, that's basically the point of this video, is fixing the game in regards to how to get your fan base on board with the game, regardless if they liked the choices that were forced on them or not. And that's choice. You get to choose your outcome. Now, of course, this would make it hard to make The Last of Us 3 with Abby and Lev, but given the fact that more people want a sequel at this point, I think giving the people choice would have really helped this game, and especially if they marketed it this way. If the last trailer for the game is you choose your destiny, I think a lot of people would have been okay with it. So, yeah. I don't do this shit for views and everything. I don't. You see my fucking channel, I'm lucky to get like 40 views, and they're usually by people I know. It's just a way for me to express my point of view rather than typing a shitload of texts in chat. I can just make a video, tell you, and yeah, my friends usually see it. But yeah, if you want, you can comment on the idea of choice. Do you think it would have fixed the game, or you don't care, or it would not have fixed the game? And are you looking forward to either a sequel with Abby and Lev, or a prequel with Joel and Tommy? And are you all... Because I doubt we're very much going to get the dog idea, because it seems like Neil Druckmann is a cat fan. Fucking asshole. Fucking cat fan, my ass. So...